Hello, what is up guys, and welcome to my quick video about how to position. It's going to be a few different types of videos on positioning since there are different concepts on the best positioning possible and what to do and what knowledge you should have when, figuring out where you want to position, not only during a team fight, but kind of on the map too. But for this one, we'll be talking about team fights, and this concept is going to be called cooldown positioning. It sounds very obvious. I'm sure most players know it, but they're not really utilizing it to the best of your ability. And I know a lot of our efforts, we do think it's based off mechanics, but actually a lot of the higher tier gameplay is based off of your knowledge and how much you know about the game itself. So I'm going to go scroll over to a team fight. Where was it? Probably around right over here. So I want you to look at the heroes that are present in game that we can see on screen so far. Look at the top left minimap for that knowledge. We're going to see on my team we have Blackfeather, Lorelei, Baron, we have a Silvernail, and we have a Lance, right? And on the enemy team we see that they have a Churnwalker, a Gwen, a Sanfeng, and a Dodgeo. Just off the knowledge we have, we know Lorelei and Lance have the most reliable CC on my team, on blue team, which is A ability, fish foods, a stun or a root. And then Lance has Impale being a root and a possible stun or at least a pushback on his Githyan wall. The enemy team has a lot more CC than we need to keep in mind, being a Churn A ability that has his pull and his ultimate, both of them, being pretty important forms of crowd control, which is, CC. And then Panda Boy, Sanfeng, he has his A ability and his ultimate. His A ability, though, it's a bit different because you can avoid it if you just avoid him. Once he uses it, then he charges up his, I forget what it's called, his counter, I think it is. And then you'll see him right now in a second walk over fish foods, use his counter, and now you can see that he took the counter and then came in, right? I don't want you to watch him the whole time. That whole time it's just saying block, block, block because probably overdrived it. But watch. He walks over fish foods, uses his A, and then uses that next auto attack to go in. It's a form of engage that he has. It's pretty reliable, and then he boots down. Notice how not only my team positioned around Sanfeng, but Sanfeng, as soon as he uses A and his B ability, he walks away, right? He doesn't want to stay in because he has nothing of value at that point. As for me, I do get caught out by Sanfeng a little bit, but thankfully we were able to pick up that fight. We didn't completely lose. I did die. But notice how Sanfeng again uses his A ability off of fish foods. This is just one thing. Keep an eye on Sanfeng, top of the screen. Fish foods is up right there. Uses his A ability on my fish foods, which is just good knowledge to have for anyone that plays Sanfeng. Lorelei A gives basically a free A ability since it's on the floor, kind of like a star puddle. So he uses that to his knowledge and positions around that. As to where my team, you would basically want to be next to your turret for any Black Claw push, but you have to keep in mind what the enemy team can do, because what they can do should help make your decision on where you should position. So we're gonna keep that in mind. Just how cooldowns work, memorizing what they're doing, and memorizing all the cooldowns and how they all function. So we're gonna scroll over a little bit to another separate team fight. Let's see. This wasn't too much of a team fight until probably right here. So we're going to keep track of as much cooldowns as we can. I will kind of be shoutcasting it, but I want you to keep in track of not only my cooldowns and where I'm positioning and the enemy cooldowns. And all I have to offer is my A ability and my puddles for slow, and a little bit of auto attacking might do some damage, sure, but at this point not enough to be significant. So the enemies contesting our blue buff, I'm sure you've seen this happen multiple times. Churnwalker getting rooted. I use an A ability. Now all of our cooldowns are down. Both teams back off. No one's trying to aggress. Sanfeng didn't use any cooldowns, so he gets to walk up, run in, free ultimate. We use our block so he has no more ultimate. And this whole time you can see all different types of cooldowns happening, right? And all the different types of things that we have to keep track of. San Feng just uses A, yes, going away. I use my stun, get 3-man stun, and the enemy team now is positioning around whatever is coming next. So San Feng is waiting for his A ability, uses counter, and he's not able to go in. I stun Walker out of his ult. You see how all of these cooldowns affect the flow of the team fight, right? Like, I'm moving up only when I have something to offer. If I don't have anything to offer, I'm not going to try to get in range of something or someone that can kill me because there's just no value of being in the fight. This is especially harder for a carry because as a carry, your job is to keep track of all of these cooldowns basically the whole game. Whenever there's an enemy in top lane, or the jungle goes top lane, and let's say they're playing someone major like Catherine, she uses her ult up in top lane, and then within 40 seconds she comes down to the spot. You know, she won't have her ult if you were able to keep track of it. It's kind of hard, sure, but just having that map awareness or that knowledge available, whether you're in a team setting, that kind of knowledge is what's going to take you to the next level of both team fighting and positioning. They both go hand in hand, obviously. So it's not just landing your skill shots, it's also being able to avoid any danger while tossing out your skill shots. That's why a lot of smart people, like on Celeste or Scarf, they position based around the enemy mid laner and the enemy's front line, and then they fire off their skill shots around that point. So now we're going to go to another team fight, probably around over here. Let's see, a few seconds. So the main interactions that we see happen are San Feng A ability whenever I use my puddle. So it's a free puddle, it's a free A ability. He's going to be waiting for my A ability to come off. And then, Walker obviously has his poles, Lance has his roots. The enemy team also has a few more forms of CC, like a Gwen ultimate. Obviously, the individual carry would have to block it. But to get a bit more around the concept of cooldown, now I wanted to keep track of when teams use their Crucible and Fountain, and then know how that changes the flow of the fight. Alright, so we got Churn, no hook. Lance goes in because he's punishing the fact that he has no hook. Did a good job. San Feng tries to go through the hook, or through the trip mines, but can't go through that. Ryan ults down. I still have my Crucible. They use their Crucible. And then Lance is doing his best to catch someone out. He's still nice and tanky. He was very patient with his cooldowns to pick off the Adagio. And it's basically so far been a battle of who can avoid all the CC. Lance tries to go for a risky play. Makes it out alive just barely. But you can see that Rhyme used his ult and then we hard engaged, right? Look at the pace of the team fight. As soon as you see that Rhyme ult go down, you're going to watch, I think Lance dives right on it, right here. Ult, and then Lance just continues to go in. 1 second. He tries his best to make something happen, especially with Black Feather 2. Ult goes down, boom, he just tries his best to get in there. 4-man B ability. Black Feather did all that better. I know it's a basic concept. I hope that probably the mid to lower tier player base sees this because high tier people, this is like tier 10 bronze to silver. This type of knowledge will get you to silver, and then silver to gold. The consistency and discipline of just, I don't know, caring about these cooldowns throughout the whole game, that is what's going to also help you. Mechanics play a very big part too, but I don't think it's I think that's like a given. Basically, obviously you have that good mechanics, but this type of knowledge will help you understand when to use these mechanics. And then lastly, we're going to use this team fight for an example as well. I just want you to watch it and just kind of guess who either wins the team fight based off, we have Ghost Wing buff, or just who gets CC'd and when they get CC'd, and also if they miss position. Same thing, use ult, use block, I use block. And then everyone is basically just front forward positioning, and as soon as people start getting picked off, you can see Silvernail just boots through, right? Look at this careful positioning right there, bottom of the screen. As soon as Walker dies, he just boots his ass in. And he knows that there's no real threat to him, and he knows that he can take on the enemy carries basically head on, because obviously we have the support of our team with us. And then last fight, let's see, right over here. San Feng just uses A ability, Churn Walker, no hook, ult going down. He gets stunned up, didn't burn the Crucible, might be saving it. Baron getting a lot of free damage out off on the side, and then repositions knowing that San Feng uses A ability and B ability. Now he's waiting again for an opportunity to go in. Jump jet, and then the Panda was able to punish that because he did jump jets forward, while the Panda did have his A ability up and ready. So a bit of a mistake by Baron, but it's really, really hard for him to even position period against this kind of team comp because San Feng is so ready to catch him up. Silvernail dives in with Blackfeather. Blackfeather did a lot of work in that fight. Or I think that was. And from here, for me, I just hit the end. It's just what I like to do. I just like to end the game. And yeah, you can see that a lot of these fights are based around the momentum of the team fight. And obviously getting a kill is going to swing the momentum in your favor, but it's not just the kill, it's the value of what they do. Let's say you kill off maybe a Ryan in a fight, but the enemy still has like a Gwen, maybe someone else, or like a CP hero, maybe like a Celeste, Gwen, Celeste, Churn Walker, and a Lance, or even San Feng would be fine. Like, if they're still a threat to your team, you're not going to just boots on in, you know? It depends on the value of the hero, and obviously what you're playing and what you know. So that's why if you don't memorize or like know all 10 heroes on the map, you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to be able to know the like instincts and cooldown, like how a San Feng is always going to want to use his A ability whenever he has a fish foods or like a scarf puddle on the ground. Like, those instincts and that knowledge needs to be there. So I would recommend playing every hero in a Rumble, ARAM, ARL, whatever mode you can. Play at least 2 to 3 games of them. Figure out what the cooldowns feel like and memorize each hero as soon as possible. It's not just mechanics that will get you there. It's the hero knowledge and intuition that you get from playing them a lot. That's why pro players have a lot of knowledge on how to team fight. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this is just a small bit of information with examples on what cooldown positioning is and how it can help you. This is not going to be the only positioning video. There are going to be many videos similar to it, so I hope that you're able to keep an eye out for the ones in the future. They're going to be a lot different and a bit more advanced in the future too. So thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and I hope you guys had a good amount of knowledge to get off of from this.